Well, good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. Uh, we have been looking the past several weeks about passages in the Bible which are helpful with spiritual formation. There's a lot of them, I won't get them all, but I try to get some that have been special to me. Today, the one that I'm using actually was special to Jim Smith. Jim Smith is a professor at Friends University, and if you remember, Dennis and I went through that apprentice program. Apprentice is another word for discipleship. We went through that apprentice program, about a 2-year program, and Ann also went through that right after us, and he bases his whole discipleship program upon Colossians 3. And so I thought this week we would look at Colossians 3. It is important to realize that spiritual formation is important. I realized growing up, I was trained in evangelism explosion and also, in other places like that, but they had a question you would ask somebody. You would look at them and you would ask them, if you were to die tonight, do you know where you would spend eternity? And if they said no, you would ask. Or if they said yes, then you came back with a question, what would you say to God? Why should I let you in? And those kind of questions. Dallas Willard, who was the mentor of Jim Smith, he turned it around. He said, the gospel is not, if we were to die tonight, where we would spend eternity. The gospel question is, what if we don't die tonight? What do we do? How do we live? And that's the idea of discipleship, is that we are to live for God. And Colossians 3, I want to read just a few verses, and we'll look at a lot of these verses this week. This is a great passage for spiritual formation. But Paul writes, since then you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. In chapter 2, Paul talks about dying and dying with Christ. Letting our old lives die, and our new lives become new. That is the symbolism of baptism. That you're completely immersed under, that's your old life, you're raised to live a new life. And Paul's telling the believers in Colossae, you need to start setting your minds on things above. You're still thinking about things that are here on earth, earthly things. Now, Jesus prayed, I pray that you not take them out of the world, but they not be of the world. And that's kind of this sense here, is that you're to set your hearts on things above because you've been raised with Christ. You have a new purpose, you have a new thought, and he says, set your hearts on things above. We're to be thinking about heavenly things. We're to be thinking about things above, higher things. So many times we keep our minds and our hearts, and when in the New Testament when it says set your hearts, the heart in Jesus' day and in Paul's day was more of just what controlled. It was the control center. They would say our minds are the control center. But he said keep your whole life centered around things above. And we're going to talk about what those things above are this week and what they're not. But he said keep your heart on things above. And he also said keep your thoughts on things above. He says because the things here on earth that used to really matter to you really don't matter. When you receive Christ and you have died to yourself and you've lived, he's resurrected you to a new life, you're not concerned with those things anymore. And so today, I ask that you practice that when things around are bugging you, or you're getting your mind just upon earthly things, set your mind on things above. Set your mind upon loving God, loving others. Set your mind upon living a holy life. That's what we've been called to, and it is much more important than anything else we could do. Well, I hope you have a great Labor Day, and I hope you get to be able to be with family and friends and have a great cookout and things. I'm about to get the grill going here. Ann and I are going to fix some ribs for us today, and so we're going to have a good Labor Day, and hope you all have a good day as well. I'll talk to you tomorrow about things above.